OK, we're coming up to the middle of the election campaign. Isabel, you are right in the middle of a kind of family issue because your partner, quite a famous guy, Richard Tice, is standing for Reform UK. He's like one of their key spokespeople. Your sister is standing for who?
She's a Labour Party candidate.
And you're yourself on the right?
I am definitely not a lefty.
No,
I think it's fair to say. So I think we can probably agree that this is a little bit #awkward.
Is your sister standing in a constituency?
And it's very near where I live.
OK.
So she wouldn't be my MP, I am relieved to say, though I have to say also that she would be an excellent MP. Even though I don't agree with her party's agenda, I think my sister would make a fantastic MP.
So when you have your sister and your partner at a family event...
Politics are not on the menu.
Well, does it not flare up over Brexit? Because you can't always control it.
It's super tense, as you can imagine, because you know what the left are like. They can't resist a little dig here and there about Brexit, and I can see Richard getting all puffed up, ready to start getting strident. I'm just out of the room at that point.
Yeah. I just suppose if you don't disagree with somebody, you don't have to dislike them, Darryl, do you?
No, and I've got lots of people in my family who I have sort of profound disagreements with over things.
But what if your fiancé said, "Oh, by the way, I voted for Brexit"?
I think
you'd break up, wouldn't you?
I think it's different. I think it's different in a household, isn't it? I think I would probably find it hard to rub with somebody who I prefer. But actually, my partner and I do have disagreements over things.
But fundamental. What if you're not married yet, are you? So you're still you've got an exit possibility, right?
Well, we're having a baby together.
No, okay, you haven't.
I've no road.
What if she said, I think, because I always think of you as being on the left. Maybe I'm wrong. And she says, all right, look, let's be cards on the table, Darryl. Before we get married, you need to know that I support the death penalty.
For me?
What if she said that to you? No, not for you. No, not executing you.
Excuse me?
Just executing certain people.
I would probably try to talk around from that position, but I think it's okay.
You wouldn't like that? So you're very open-minded.
And actually, to be honest with you, I wasn't there in the ballot box with her, so I don't know how she voted on something.
Well, maybe we can all get on with
person.
No, I think it is really difficult. I'm not going to lie. When you have profound ideological differences with somebody close to you, it is really, really delicate. And we are muddling along as best we can and trying to be mutually supportive. Because in the end...
What's the big one with your sister? Is it that she keeps saying, we really want a double taxation?
So I wrote a piece for The Telegraph about inheritance tax. I really disagree with inheritance tax. You know, I just profoundly think it's an awful tax on misery. I don't think it produces much. It takes months and months. It's awful. And obviously, you know, my sister and I have the same parents, so we're all equally affected.
Yeah.
I don't think she was thrilled about me writing about it because she thinks inheritance tax is fair and fine.
That's quite clever because you can say, right, so if our parents sadly were to leave this earth, you could have everything, and your sister obviously doesn't want it.
So my parents sadly have left this earth, and I haven't tried that argument on her.
Didn't work.
So I'll get back to you on that one.
OK. But I think sometimes when people believe a certain type of thing, you do take a certain view of them. I mean, if someone... You know, if I had a neighbour who I was going out for a drink with and he suddenly came out with a load of appalling racist views, I'm sorry, we're not going to have a drink again.
I think that's very true. And I think there's definitely, you know, there's some things that sort of fall into the it's okay for us to rub along category and some that are just unacceptable. I am much more interested. When I get in situations like that, which I do, because, you know, we all work in the media, we're all confronted with things that are confronting for us. I often try to think about what's taken somebody to that view, try and understand them, try to be a bit empathetic about...
Wow, you're such a new man.
about why they're there. Well, I think that also helps you because it stops you being frustrated. You know, we're this sort of
But how do you get two people from the same family that have such radically opposing views?
Well, so the key ones, in the States, if you can have Trump and anti-Trump in a family, that's a disaster.
Yeah.
And in Scotland, the independence thing is really difficult.
And it was the same with Brexit. You know,
Brexit as well.
Families were divided over it. Friendships were broken over it. And, you know, some things are really, really hard to overcome.
when I got married to my beautiful wife, I had to accept that she has Phil Collins CDs. It's just. I'm not talking about early Genesis here. I'm talking about the solo career.
I'm not that keen on Richard's green jacket. You know, we all have our.
Red trousers.
Red
trousers.
He does not do red trousers.
No, well, if he ever comes in here in red trousers, we're going to tell you.
No red trousers.
We might experiment later with kilts, by the way. But there was a big moment for reform yesterday, which is covered on the front page of the Telegraph here. We were all kind of. I was wondering if this would happen at some point. It's happened a bit earlier than I expected in the campaign. But we've had a poll, and it could be a rogue poll, but it shows them a point ahead, 1 point ahead of the Conservatives. So they're on, I think, 19, and the Conservatives on 18. And this obviously is electrifying because it sort of allows Mr. Farage to say, well, look, we're now in pole position, and none of this stuff about wasting your vote on reform. Farage can say we've got a chance of taking quite a lot of seats.
Well, they don't, actually, is the honest truth about it. And, you know, Nigel Farage talked about himself in that debate last night as being the real opposition. And the reality is, with our voting system, that isn't going to happen. I think they could potentially scrape 3. Maybe Richard would be one of them. If they have a very, very good night, they might scrape 3. There is actually an underpriced possibility that Ed Davey's the leader of the opposition.
Well, I was going to say, the YouGov poll puts the Lib Dems not far behind on 14%.
I don't think that's going to happen either.
Well, I mean, they do, but the thing is, they do really work their vote efficiently, the Lib Dems, so they will put it into the southwest as well. Yesterday, the Lib Dem leader, Ed Davey, was seen tackling an assault course in Tunbridge Wells, and we're so loving impartially the Lib Dem campaign, I must say, because it's, shall we just do the greatest hits here? So this is the assault course. Then we had that. That was the day before. That was a water park. This was their manifesto launch. Then we had the roller coaster the day before. And it is always, you stand in the front. Then we had the day one. I thought this would completely sink them because he said, I admit I fell off deliberately. But he's understood social media, this guy. It's utterly shallow.
Quite literally.
Literally, all people want to do is see politicians fall in rivers.
I think it's brilliant, actually. I think it's genius. I mean, what's a bit odd, because Ed Davey had been completely invisible from frontline politics for the best of part of the last year.
Well, because of the post-office
And he's
scandal.
really, really pulled it out of the bag now, hasn't he?
He has.
It's funny, it's original, the press love it, because we all get bored, you know, going around the same old venues. Hats off to him.
I'm going to be a bit curmudgeonly here and a bit boring.
No.
I actually am.
It's not serious.
I'm getting a bit tired of it. I think politics is a serious business.
Oh.
Okay.
And I do sort of.
You want him in a waistcoat?
There is a little bit of me that sort of dies inside when the way that you get traction for your serious political point is by and I think that says about us, and it says a lot about the country. I don't think it's.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I wish we would just take, everyone could be posted something and we all sit and read it for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, he would argue that it's getting him and his party's brand and name in the media, and people are talking about him and what they stand
but Daryl's
for.
making a point that it's not fundamentally splashing people isn't serious, but then so what? We know that.